Before discussing any of the strategies that you need in order to become a better Blackout player, one of the most important pieces of equipment that you need to have is a headset. Just hearing these players makes it so much easier for you to be able to maneuver and get the kills before they kill you. Learning the controls and being able to multitask by doing multiple things at once will allow you to prepare yourself quicker for those gunfights and hectic situations. Knowing what guns and attachments that you like and what attachments you already have on the gun will allow you to loot quicker, thus saving your life. Here you can see that I took too long because I wasn't sure what attachments I already had, and so the zone had came in already, and I already had to go back and check what attachments I had just to switch out the foregrip. One of the most important yet rare qualities for a player to have is to be able to play more passive. A lot of people like to play aggressive and just run into gunfights, but if you are able to play passive and wait for the gunfight to come to you and check your corners before running in, then you will be able to survive and get more kills. If you only adapt to one new tip from this video, it has to be positioning. For example, right here, I have a lot of equipment, yet he has the higher ground. So all of his nades will roll towards me. I can't move because he can easily just get covered behind the hill. And I have to hope that he will get stunned or hit by one of my nades while evading, and it doesn't work out. Again, here, just playing passive, positioning behind him, and then here again, just being able to wait for him will get you. After every gunfight, make sure that you get new positioning, because there is often times where people will try and third party you. So here I get a kill, but then I go onto the roof because I'm expecting there to be more players, and surely enough, another player came down and I had the upper advantage. But of course things don't always work out, and sometimes you'll have the positioning and still lose the gunfight. But in the end, even if you follow all of these tips, you will not be able to win if you don't have the gun skill. You have to be able to shoot straight and have good movements. If you can't win a gunfight, you can't win a game. In these clips right here, you can see everybody had better positioning on me and I had less health. But because of my gun skill, I was able to get the kill every single time, even though I surely was supposed to be dead. Everyone has shaky shots sometimes, and here's just an example. He's clearly wide out in the open, but I can't finish the kill. But of course, not everything happens the way that you want it to. Sometimes you wait, sometimes you have the positioning, but the connection is just bad. There's nothing you can do about that, and you can't always win. Before you drop, open up the map and see where you plan on dropping based on where the helicopter is moving. If you see that it will be faster to wait in the helicopters, you can turn your camera in order to face the way that you are dropping so that you can drop faster. I like to go down to about 60, then start turning up till I'm at about 67 meters per second, and then I will free fall forward, and at the very end, I'll make sure to drop down significantly so that I can either go straight into a doorway or straight into a window. Right here I close the door behind me so that I can hear if someone else opens it. And again I have a headset so I can hear someone breaking the window, so I get to come here and push for the quick kill. If you want quick kills, make sure to drop near the beginning of the drop. And also, make sure to hear and pay attention to how many people are dropping around you so that you can get the kills first. If you see someone drop with you, quickly grab a gun and try and kill them, because chances are they will try and do the same while you are still looting, and you'll get a free kill as they try to loot. Whenever you are looting quickly and moving for the kill, make sure that you guys check corners. Actually, in all moments, make sure you look behind doors because people like to hide there often and it's hard to see them, for example in this clip right here. Learn your favorite drop spots well, because there are a bunch of secret spots that you can jump to in order to get better positioning. For example, if you drop at firing range, you can get on top of pretty much all of the buildings, including Sniper's Tower, bathrooms, and even tin. Lastly, it's important that you loot quickly and move. You can loot bodies as you kill, but you don't want to be stuck looting. In this portion of the video, I want to talk about the main gameplay and what you'll be doing during the game, all the way from the very beginning, as we discussed, to the very end, which I will discuss later. The first tip that I would have during the game is to stay near the edge of the circle, because a lot of people like to camp here, and you will pick up a lot of free kills, as people try and rotate through, or as people just try and stay alive, trying to stay away from the gunfights. And if you don't believe me, right here, I even have 5 separate clips showing free kills just for waiting at the edge of the circle. Right here, you can see my next tip would be to always check behind you, because people will always end up camping behind you even if you don't think they will. Here's another example of knowing the controls by being able to repair your armor at the same time as healing. My next tip is often overlooked yet extremely valuable. Perks are slept on. Use them as often as you can. Right here, I even have 3 clips of me just using Skulker, a perk that multiple people would usually just move over and move past, just getting free kills by strafing to each side, making it impossible for people to hear me or kill me. Even a perk like Brawler is absolutely OP in close quarters positions. Dead Silence is the best perk in the game, but even Lightweight can help for movement, and Looter can show you where people have been or where people will not be. Always have some piece of equipment that you can use to escape equipped in situations like this. These pieces of equipment can be smoke grenades, barricades, or even grapplers. Because here you can see I'm struggling and easily would have died, but because I had the smoke grenade ready, I could move around, maneuver my way to a better position, and get a free kill. These next 3 clips show why it is so important to not be out in the open. Whenever possible, even if it's just a simple rock or a radiator, try and find a heady or some sort of cover. A couple other important tips that can still help you become a much better Blackout player but are not shown in these specific tips would be to always move around if you're standing in one place so that you won't get sniped by snipers as easily. As well, you can bait supply drops whenever they're on the ground with the red smoke coming out and get easy free kills. It is extremely helpful to flank anytime that you're in a gunfight. It doesn't matter if it's long distance and you don't think you can get the kill, or if it's short distance. Flanking and getting behind the enemy will make your life way easier. Furthermore, it's okay to go into the zone. Make sure you continuously heal up while you're in the zone, but you can get a lot of good loot, or you can get quick flanks from people not expecting you to come out of the zone. Easily the most important and the best attribute of this game is the equipment. You have to remember, equipment saves lives, equipment wins games. Anytime that you have a piece of equipment, you should use it. A lot of people like to save them till endgame, but at any point, it will get you free kills. For example, all of these kills that I'm getting right here are just forcing an enemy into a single position or immobilizing them so that I can get the free, easy kill without any danger to myself or dying. Out of every piece of equipment that I believe people will not use in order to save for the very end, I believe that the most common would be sensor darts. But sensor darts can get you free kills. They can show you exactly where enemies are, and they're extremely useful whenever you're not playing solos, because there might be multiple enemies watching different directions, and you need to make sure that you know where they are so that you either don't get flanked, shot in the back, or you can just get an advantage through positioning. Here are 2 unfortunate situations where equipment just do not come in my favor. I used the smoke grenade in order to flank the enemy, but unfortunately the smoke grenade takes off my aim assist and helps the other team. And then here, it's just cooking a nade. You can't do anything to a cooked nade. But putting sensor darts on cars is so beneficial. Being able to drive around with that extra protection and then just pull up on an enemy, super beneficial. When in doubt, always move up. It is so much easier to be aiming down at the ground than for people to be staring up at the same time as they're trying to move. You can jump much further than whenever other people try whenever they're below you, and you can have a much better viewing angle. For example, this person can't even see me, but I can easily just jump up and kill them. Even the slightest bit of elevation is useful. For example, I could not see this person, but they could see me. Sometimes it's smarter to challenge while not completely healed, because you can catch the enemy off guard as they try and push you, as they expect you to be weak. The first clip showed an example where I do not completely heal up and then I ended up winning the gunfight. And then here, this person decides to completely heal and most likely repair his armor, so I have a lot of time to flank while he's still on the ground camping. Although it's frowned upon, sometimes it is smarter to be the person that is camping or not moving. For example, you can hear people rushing towards you, or you can just wait and get a free kill if you think that you are in a poor position. Another piece of important equipment would be mesh mines, if you are good with them. Mesh mines are great for cars, but it is also very dangerous to drive around in cars because of the mesh mines. Furthermore, cars are very loud. But if you have mesh mines equipped, you can easily get yourself a kill or even 4 kills. Firstly, in this clip, I'm moving away to a better position because I knew there was somebody else. But the most important thing to take from this clip is that I am at 14 health right there. And a lot of people are too scared to pop a trauma kit whenever they have 150 health. And the only reason I lived right there was because I had popped the trauma. Again, right here, I run around, I'm at 132 health, but I still pop the trauma kit. And at the end of this gunfight, I end up being below that 50-point mark, which would have meant that I would have died in this situation. If you are running around the edge of the circle, it's important to try and avoid building because there can be people camping that will just sound whore you and get the free kill. Also, whenever you're looting, make sure you always check corners in buildings because people always camp in corners. Another important thing is to exit the same window that you first came in order to minimize the amount of sound you make. For example, I dropped in that window and then I came back out of the window so they didn't hear that I came through there. And again, I hear that there is somebody in garage, but I know that I heard a window break. So I try to find the window, which I knew was right here, and then climb into the same window so that they have no idea that I'm behind them and I get the free kill. Also, it really is important to try and minimize the sound. So, for example, right there, sensors can be destroyed by just going up to them and holding square. So he didn't know where exactly I was, so I got the free kill. It's important to also wait for the clear shot. Right here, I wasn't sure I would get the kill, but because I waited until he was out in the open, I got the free kill. For my final tip, it's important to heal and look around after a gunfight. If you have that extra health, you can potentially move if you're getting shot at, and it's important to make sure nobody else is around you before you loot. After all of that, we finally came down to the end. Now we're talking about the final circle. It's important to drop all of your standard heals, the ones that do just 25 extra health, because you can leave room for important perks and equipment, and you can just stack up on the medkits that do 50 health. And like I said before, equipment is so important. And remember, this is the end of the game. So use all of your equipment, or as much as you can, while still remaining safe. Because this can give you free, safe kills from a large distance, if you're accurate with your nades, for examples. Or you can use your barricades to block off a certain point of view. Either way, they're extremely beneficial and will help you get to that final kill. In terms of perk usage in the final circles, Dead Silence is still the best perk in the game and will obviously help you win the game. But another slept on perk is Outlander. If it comes down to a heal off, Outlander does half of the damage whenever you're in the final circle. So if you do decide to camp or you can't find the last person, then you can easily win. Consumer is also extremely OP. If you can heal and repair your armor ridiculously fast, then you will be able to get into those gunfights quicker, and you will then get the timing on your opponent and easily get the kill and win the game. Reinforced is also one of the most important perks to have in the final circle because, like I said, everybody will use their equipment, and if their grenades don't affect you as much or their stuns only last a shorter duration, you'll be able to get the jump on opponents who are not expecting. Paranoia is also extremely beneficial in the final circles because oftentimes people will camp in order to avoid those gunfights in order to get more of the free win or get the jump on you because you don't know where they are. And if they zoom in on you, you will hear the sound and know exactly where they are and make it easier to find them. If you guys decide to implement any of these tips into your gameplays, I promise you will find them very beneficial and you'll start to win a lot more matches. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and best of luck in your games.